הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Top of page 1. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. Yada-da, yada-da. You can clap, it'll keep away the stink bugs. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Yada-da, yada-da-da-da-da-da. Hine ma tov u'mana'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'mana'im, shevet achim gam yachad.
And on page 1, people of the book, we have been, we will be, we are. As we turn the pages to begin again and again, creation, the law, the promises of the prophets. I know my past as it is written, for out of the void God created order, and I know it is good. This Simchat Torah, eternal is the truth that guides us, freeing us, providing peace to live our lives as it is written, as it endures, generation to generation. Our hearts rejoice and celebrate. And we turn to our candle blessing. Why are the words of Torah like fire? As fire from a single flame kindles many flames, so each word of Torah kindles many minds, illumines many hearts. The Torah gives light to all who make use of its bright and shining flame. As we join together, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Kidshanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu Lahadlik Ner Shel Yom Tov.
And at the top of page 2, this festival teaches that the study of Torah never ends, and that its influence can fill our lives with the beauty of holiness. With the fruit of the vine, our symbol of joy, we celebrate this day, giving thanks for the great teachers of every generation. May our celebration make us eager to study our heritage and to use what we learn in the service of humanity. And if you at home have a grape beverage, you may hold it up, and I ask everyone, if you are able to please rise for our festival kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'am, veromemanu mikol lashon, v'kidshanu b'mitzvotav. V'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'ahava, moadim l'simcha, chagig uzmanim l'sason, et yom hashmini chag atzeret hazeh. Zman simchatenu mikra kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, umoadei kodshecha b'simcha u'v'sason hinchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai mikadesh Yisrael ve'hazmanim. And we say l'chaim.
And we join together in Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. And we remain standing for our call to worship at the bottom of page 2, the Baruch Hu. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la la la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
And at the top of page 3, we join together in Ma'ariv Aravim as we thank God for creation as our sun begins to set. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil bein yom uvein layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. And we read together responsively at the middle of the page. The Torah is God's choicest gift to the house of Israel.
Israel without Torah is like a body without a soul.
Like water, it refreshes and purifies.
Like wine, it gladdens the heart.
Like a crown, it exalts us above all creatures.
It is nobler than the crown of priesthood or royalty.
When Torah entered the world, freedom entered it.
The whole Torah exists only to establish peace.
Its first and last aim is to teach love and kindness.
What is hateful to you, do not do to others.
That is the whole Torah. All the rest is commentary. Go and learn it.
Wherever people study Torah, the presence of God dwells among them.
Honoring parents, performing acts of kindness, and making peace among people, these are among our highest duties.
But the study of Torah is equal to them all because it leads to them all. And at the bottom of page 3, the words of the Shema. Yai la 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 la, yai la la la, yai la 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 la. Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Yai la 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 la, yai la la la, yai la 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 la. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod Malachuto Leolam, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod Malachuto Leolam, Leolam Vaed. Yai la 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 la, yai la la la, yai la 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 la.
And as we celebrate Torah this evening, we celebrate Torah every day, but specifically tonight, as we celebrate Torah, I want to point out that on page 3 and certainly on page 4, the first line of Shema, and then as we look at Ve'ahavta and Michamocha, you will see that there's Hebrew written in what we call a stam font, and this looks sort of like what it would look like in the Torah. And we do it specifically in the service just so that you can see where our prayers, where some of our service prayers come from directly out of the Torah. And we'll join together in chanting Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha ub'chol nafshecha ub'chol me'odecha Vehayu hadavarim haele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'aderech u'b'shochbecha u'b'kumecha Ukshartam leot ayadecha, vehayu litotafot beineinecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisha'arecha, leman tizkiru, vasitem et kol mitzvotai, vitem kedoshim lelohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher Hotzeiti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Lihyot Lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Emet. And in the middle of the page we ask, who is like you, God? Mi chamocha. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef eleh. Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? When Moses and the children crossed the sea, they sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot. And at the bottom of page 4, we ask that God watch over us in this life, in the next life. We say, God, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Let us lie down in peace and raise us up to life renewed. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu
As we turn to page 5, before we stand up and begin the Amidah, as we look at our second prayer, and even for those joining us, if you don't have the prayers in front of you, the Givu wrote, when we come to Shmini Atzeret and Simchat Torah, and we actually are celebrating 2 holidays this evening. We celebrate the beginning of Shmini Atzeret and Simchat Torah. In Israel and in the Reform movement in the diaspora, it is all one holiday. But in the diaspora, for conservative Jews and Orthodox Jews, those who observe what we call Yom Tov Sheni, Shmini Atzeret happens tonight, and then Simchat Torah begins tomorrow night. But in Israel, regardless of what branch of Judaism you are part of, it is all melded together in one day. And Shmini Atzeret is mentioned in the Torah as an 8th day, or sort of an end of Sukkot, although it is a day where we are not supposed to have anything to do with the sukkah. You don't do your lulav and etrog, you don't do your sukkah when you come to Shmini Atzeret. And Simchat Torah came much later, and it was just then brought together with Sukkot, or with Shmini Atzeret. In addition, at Shmini Atzeret, we switch in the Givu wrote. A couple of years ago, we added our prayers for rain or prayers for dew. And so we switch in the Givu wrote tonight, and we will keep this switch all the way through Pesach. And it is Mashiv Haruach Umorid Hagashem. We ask God to call forth the winds and the rain. Why? Because in Israel, this is now the beginning of the rainy season, which will go into Pesach. And this is the time when Israel gets its rain for the entire year. And so the prayer switches. And then from Pesach all the way through to now, which we then sort of call the summer, we just have a prayer for dew. We still want water. We still need water with the dew, but it doesn't come like it does in the rainy season. And for anybody who has been to Israel between this time and between Pesach, boy, does it rain, or can it rain at different times. So, and sometimes it will rain outside of that. Occasionally you can get it in late April or May, but for the most part, it really keeps within the season. So just to point that out, it always takes us a couple of weeks to get used to that switchover in the prayer, but just to alert you to it. So we all rise now for the Amidah, for Avot, Givurot, and Kedusha.
Adonai, Sifatai Tiftachu Fi Yagi Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Michayeh hakol. Top of page 6. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'gedoshim b'chol yom yehalalucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
And we read together in the English. May our eyes sparkle with the light of Torah, and our ears hear the music of its words. May the space between each letter of the scrolls bring warmth and comfort to our soul. May the syllables draw holiness from our heart, and may this holiness be gentle and soothing to us and all God's creations. We praise you, Adonai, who sanctifies the house of Israel and the festivals. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh Yisrael v'Hazmanim. You may be seated, and we now take a moment for silent and personal prayer.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
And now comes the dancing. Even if you are at home, you can dance, and hopefully our dancing will keep the stink bugs away. If you are home, let me tell you, at least as the sun is going down, they're going away. But it is like Pesach, it is the plague of stink bugs out here. Ugh, sorry. Anyway, we here are going to dance. Our hakafot are going to look a little bit different because we don't really have the space to make circuits. We are going to pull out because we're not going to pass the Torah for the sake of safety and whatever else, but we have a big bucket of stuffed Torahs. There, I think, are almost enough stuffed Torahs for everybody to have one and to march around with it. Or we have a jar of flags. You can have a flag of Israel. You can have a flag of the United States. You can wave your flag, and we are going to march we're going to dance, not march. We're going to dance between the cones. That will sort of be our hakafah. And as we get through our technically 3 hakafot, when we are finished, then for our Torah reading, that is when I'll have our officers come forward. We are going to unroll 2 Torah scrolls, not all the way, but we're going to unroll the end and unroll one to the beginning. And then we will hear the end of Deuteronomy, the beginning of Bereshit, of Genesis, so that we show how cyclical Torah is. We're not ending. We are just continuing back to the beginning. And so in our books, I love this poem about dancing. Wherever we are, Simchat Torah, we dance by ourselves if need be. We dance in our living rooms with Syria on our phones. We dance in the falling rain. Thank goodness it is not tonight. We dance cradling toddlers or dogs or emptiness. We dance in solitary circles. We dance Misserlou with the generations, hand in invisible hand. We dance dreaming with our eyes open. We dance favorite melodies on YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify. We dance breathlessly. We dance to stay healthy, humming Hebrew letters. We dance with hands stretched toward the screen. We dance even if our bodies can't or won't. We dance in our seats. We dance with our eyes. We dance leaning on friends. We dance with our memories of dancing. We watch with pleasure as others dance. We dance not feeling like it. We dance ourselves into feeling like it. We dance pulled in a swirling circle of momentum. We dance pulled into the spiral circle of history. We dance our yesterday. We dance our tomorrow. We dance our now. So I'm going to ask everybody to rise. We'll start our music, and we dance for Torah.
And those of you at home can dance around too, because you're probably going to mostly see me playing and people going by. So dance at home as well. And if you know these songs, join in with me. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Everyone come get Torah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Come on, come on. Hallelujah, everybody. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehalel yah.
ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגר הארץ, ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים. Tsena, 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 havana, dorena, ha, elim, moshava. Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael
We can have our officers come forward.
Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai, 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 Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael 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 Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael 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 Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai.
Put this on since I'm up near you guys. And we're going to join together in the blessing, all of us, before Torah. Page 8, if you are here following along in the book. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach, Baruch Adonai hamavorach leolam vaed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, V'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai
Noten HaTorah.
All right, let me find my place. Hold on.
We won't drop the Torah.
Okay. Velo kam navi od b'Yisrael, Moshe asher yad'o Adonai panim el panim, lochol ha'atot hamofef vehamoftim asher shelcho Adonai la'asot ba'eretz Mitzrayim leFaro, ulechol avadav, ulechol artzo, ulechol hayad hahazaka, ulechol hamore hagadol, Asher asa Moshe le'enei kol Yisrael, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, ve'haaretz hayta tohu vavohu v'choshech al pnei tehom, beruach Elohim merachefet al pnei hamayim, vayomer Elohim yehi or, vayehi or, vayar Elohim et haor ki tov, vayavdel Elohim bein haor uvein hachoshech, Vayikra Elohim leor yom ulechoshech kara laila vayihi erev vayihi voker yom echad. Now we'll join together in the blessing after reading Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher natan lanu Torah emet, b'chayei olam nata b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. And as we see these scrolls in front of us, as we go, we continue our cycle, the beauty of the cycle from generation to generation. We read from our Holocaust scroll, from one of the oldest scrolls in our congregation. We look at them, we see these words, V'zot haTorah asher sa Moshe livnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe.
Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim haolam omed. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim haolam omed. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim haolam omed. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim haolam omed. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. And we remain standing at the top of the page 9 for Aleinu L'Shabeach. Aleinu L'Shabeach la'adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
And may we, like those who came before us, be partners with God in creating a world of peace and joy. We praise God to give thanks for their lives and to pray for the coming of God's rule as we join together in the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal ve'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad divrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam omei omaya. Yit barach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dukudasha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Damiram be'alma ve'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. And as we sing our closing song, it really is also a great benediction. Am Yisrael Chai, Od Avinu Chai, that the people of Israel lives, that we continue to take joy in our tradition, take joy in Torah, that we are able to celebrate and to dance. And, I can only imagine once we are at least in the endemic stage of this pandemic, that we can once again come back together and truly dance as people so often do on Simchat Torah. And because I forgot to turn them on during our dancing part, as we sing our closing song, we're going to turn on the party lights and see how they go. So we're going to dance. And immediately afterwards, for those who are here, we have a sweet treat because words of Torah are sweet. And so we treat ourselves with sweet caramel apples. And we will also open up one of the Torah scrolls for those who are present if you would like to look. We're going to open the Holocaust scroll up a little bit further on our table. Take it away, Rabbi Bellows.
Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai, Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai, Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai, Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael. You'll notice it's pronounced a little bit differently because this was inspired by a group of Jews in Africa. So it's how they pronounce Hebrew. And so we're going to sing it like this on the back of the page here now. Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai, Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai, Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai, Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai. Oh, De Avinu Chai, clap, clap. Oh, De Avinu Chai, clap, clap. Oh, De Avinu Chai, clap, clap. Oh, De Avinu Chai. Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael 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 Chai. Oh, De Avinu Chai. Oh, De Avinu Chai. Oh, De Avinu Chai. Oh, De Avinu Chai.
Moedim l'simcha. Have a wonderful final day to this holiday season. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
And Erev Tov.